Part 7. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wu Nian. Chapter 61. Magpies. This kind of creature has a tradition of announcing good news since ancient times. However, the magpie, which is considered to be auspicious, has another alias, called the Oriental magpie. The name of the magpie that Chen Mu saw now is the black-backed bell magpie, also known as the Australian magpie. If you want to distinguish between the Oriental magpie and the Australian magpie, you can look at their eyes. Although they are both magpies, the Oriental magpie has black eyes, while the black-backed bell magpie, also known as the Australian magpie, has red eyes. Of course, for Chen Mu now, he doesn't care what kind of magpie this thing is, he only knows that this thing is a flying animal. After eating this, there are only 4 left. Chen Mu saw the magpie through his conscious vision, and the distance was nearly 1,000 meters. Chen Mu flapped his wings and rushed towards the direction of the magpie. Just then, the magpie's eyes were fixed on a house below. Inside the house, 2 children, wearing baseball helmets, looked at the magpie outside. The scars of being scratched by the magpie can be seen on the 2 little faces. One of the blonde children looked at the black-haired child next to him and said, "It's still guarding us outside. What should we do? We can't go out to play now." It was a rare holiday, and he planned to go out to play with his little friends. The black-haired child said helplessly, "I don't know what to do." The blonde child said with a bitter face, "As soon as we go out, it pecks us. We didn't do anything. Why did it peck us?" The black-haired child said bitterly, "Before, my sister was also pecked by magpies when she was riding a bicycle outside. These magpies attack people indiscriminately, regardless of whether we have done anything bad. In order to protect their young birds during the breeding season, magpies will become extremely aggressive. In fact, Oriental magpies will also attack people during the breeding season, but the reason why Oriental magpies attack people is because those people have hurt magpies. If they have not hurt magpies, they will not attack them. Oriental magpies have a strong memory ability. They can recognize the person who has hurt magpies through face recognition. When they see that person approaching their nest, they will attack. But the Australian magpie is different. Like the Oriental magpie, the Australian magpie also has a strong memory ability, but it attacks indiscriminately. When the Australian magpie attacks, you cannot resist. As long as you dare to resist and hurt it, it will rely on its strong memory to remember your face, and the next time it sees you, it will give you a soul-shattering surprise. And this thing attacks people's noses, eyes, and ears. Some children have had their eyes pecked by magpies, and there was another incident in which a baby several months old died because of harassment by magpies. The 2 children stayed at home, staring at the magpie in front of them, hoping that the magpie would leave. And the magpie stared at the faces of the 2 children with its red eyes. It seemed to be waiting for the 2 children to come out. And at this moment, Chen Mu, a white-bellied sea eagle, had arrived. He locked his eyes on the magpie, approached it suddenly, stretched out a pair of sharp claws, and grabbed the magpie on the roof. The magpie seemed to have noticed something, raised his face, looked, and flapped his wings. "Gah!" The magpie let out a panicked scream. Chen Mu grabbed the magpie with his sharp claws, flapped his wings, and left. The scene in front of him was seen by the 2 children who had been paying attention to the magpie in the house. "Is that a white-bellied sea eagle? Such a big white-bellied sea eagle!" The black-haired child's eyes trembled, and he seemed a little shocked. "Hero! That's our hero!" The blonde child was full of joy and ran out of the house. He shouted happily, "It's so big, it must be the king of white-bellied sea eagles, the king of sea eagles. It saved us, it's our hero." Yes, the black-haired child was also excited when he heard this. It must know that we are in trouble, so it came to save us. Sea Eagle King, hero. Hero, The blonde child shouted in the direction where Chenmu left, his face full of excitement. The black-haired child looked at Chenmu's back as he left, his eyes full of admiration. Chenmu was holding the struggling magpie with his sharp claws. He heard the sound coming from behind him, but he didn't hear it clearly because there was a distance. Through the conscious vision, I saw the two jumping children, looking at this side, calling excitedly. Chenmu was a little puzzled. What are these two-legged ape children calling? Forget it, Chenmu was too lazy to pay attention and retracted his sight. He grabbed the magpie and flew to the branch of a big tree not far away. The human buildings in this place are relatively far away, and the greening is very good, resulting in tall trees, which is just a place for Chenmu to rest. The magpie under the claws was chirping and struggling. Chenmu stretched out his beak. After a while, the magpie stopped moving. Chenmu ate it bite by bite. This tastes just average, there is not much meat as a white-bellied sea eagle. Chenmu disliked this food full of muscles and no fat at all. It's not as delicious as tuna, Chenmu muttered in disgust. The task is completed 60% of the way, the voice of the system sounded. Hearing this voice, Chenmu kicked the dead magpie to the ground. He flapped his body and flew up. Continue to enter the reconnaissance mode, looking for the seventh flying animal. When passing by the place where humans stayed, Chenmu saw some humans holding their mobile phones towards him. They were probably taking photos or something. Chenmu was too lazy to pay attention to these two-legged apes. Suddenly, Chenmu saw a new species again. Koala. When Chenmu was a human, he had only seen koalas on TV before. This creature was slow. In Chenmu's impression, it was a cute and adorable thing. Under normal circumstances, koalas live almost all their lives on trees and eat eucalyptus leaves. Koalas seem to have evolved to eat eucalyptus leaves. Eucalyptus leaves are poisonous, but koalas are not afraid of the toxicity of eucalyptus leaves. At the same time, the nutrient content of eucalyptus leaves is extremely low, so if koalas use eucalyptus leaves as their main food, they must eat a lot of eucalyptus leaves. At the same time, it also reduces energy consumption, which leads to koalas sleeping for a large part of the day, up to 20 hours a day, and the other 4 hours are eating. This thing should stay on the eucalyptus tree for its entire life. But now Chenmu saw that koala sitting on the human street. The cute koala was now like an uncle, sitting there, dirty and messy. It really gave Chenmu a lot of experience. Chenmu shook his head and was too lazy to pay attention to this thing. It's not a flying animal. Chenmu flew for a while, and suddenly, a target came into view. Cuckoo, Chenmu's eyes lit up. Obviously this is Chenmu's seventh target. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wu Nian. Chapter 62. Under Chenmu's conscious vision, the cuckoo was in a bird's nest. It was looking around furtively, as if it was on guard against something. After looking around, the cuckoo retracted its sight and was under Chenmu's gaze. The cuckoo picked up an egg in the nest with its mouth, then it walked to the edge of the nest and threw the egg down. Pop! The egg fell directly to the ground, accompanied by a slight sound, and the egg broke, and the egg white and yolk splashed. Seeing this, Chenmu was stunned. What is this? At this time, the cuckoo slowly lay in the bird's nest and laid an egg in the nest. The egg laid by the cuckoo was very similar to the other eggs in the nest. Although very similar, Chenmu understood after seeing the cuckoo's behavior just now and the egg laid quickly. That bird's nest was not the cuckoo's nest, but that of another bird. There are many species of cuckoos in the world, and 1/3 of them lay their eggs in other birds' nests. Eggs laid in other birds' nests will hatch first because cuckoos have a shorter incubation period. After hatching, cuckoo chicks will be driven by nature to squeeze other eggs out of the nest and occupy all the food. And many parent birds will think that cuckoo chicks are their own children, so they will give food to them and feed them until they grow up. The cuckoo that Chen Mu saw was obviously laying its eggs in someone else's nest. After laying eggs, the cuckoo flapped its wings and was about to leave. At this time, Chen Mu had arrived. The cuckoo was about to fly away. Chen Mu pounced on it, raised his claws, and directly grabbed the cuckoo. Chi, the cuckoo made a panicked cry. Chen Mu didn't care, and grabbed the struggling cuckoo and flew to a branch not far away. Chen Mu pecked the cuckoo to death and then began to eat. While eating, Chen Mu stared at the bird's nest not far away through his conscious vision. That bird's nest must belong to another bird, which means that the bird that flew out will definitely come back in a while. As long as it comes back, Chen Mu's eighth flying animal will be found. The mission is 70% complete. Chen Mu threw the body of the cuckoo aside. The cuckoo is similar to other birds, all of which are shriveled. Chen Mu is not interested in the type. Just eat a few bites to complete the task. Voila la. Suddenly, Chen Mu heard the sound of wings passing through the air, and he looked closely. I saw the small bird flying over the leaves from a distance and landed next to the nest. Chen Mu looked closely. What kind of bird is this? Chen Mu did not know the identity of this bird. After all, Chen Mu was not an ornithologist. The bird was very small. The body was relatively round, gray-brown all over, and the belly was white. The name of this bird is the gorgeous fairy-tailed warbler. The name is very long. This is a unique bird in this area. However, this bird has a characteristic. After research by scientists, it was found that after hatching, the young birds of the gorgeous fairy wren will learn a unique pronunciation code from the adult birds. And that pronunciation code is something that the young cuckoo birds cannot learn. Only when the young birds give a secret signal will the adult birds feed them. If there are cuckoo chicks in the nest, they will be distinguished and starved to death. This ability seems to be an ability that the gorgeous fairy wren has evolved to prevent being confused by the cuckoo chicks. Chen Mu didn't even know the name of this bird, and he didn't know anything else. Of course, even if Chen Mu knew, he wouldn't care. In his eyes, this gorgeous fairy wren was just a tool to complete the task. Chen Mu flapped his wings, flew up, and swooped down on the gorgeous fairy wren. The moment the gorgeous fairy wren saw Chen Mu, it was startled and flew up, and was about to run. But the problem is that Chen Mu's speed is doubled, and he launched the attack instantly. The gorgeous fairy wren didn't even fly up, and was caught by Chen Mu's claws. The gorgeous fairy wren is not big. Chen Mu easily killed it with his beak and ate its meat. The mission is 80% complete. After eating 2 bites, Chen Mu threw the body of the gorgeous fairy wren aside, and his consciousness was attracted by something flying in the air. Dragonfly. Chen Mu noticed that there were many dragonflies flying on the grass not far away. The system said that flying animals are needed, but it didn't say that birds must be used. Insects should also be okay. The only problem is that the white-bellied sea eagle is a bird of prey, a carnivore, and does not eat insects. It doesn't matter, as long as I eat it. Whether I can use it is another matter, Chen Mu muttered. Just eat a little, I won't die. Thinking of this, Chen Mu flapped his wings and flew towards one of the dragonflies. He swallowed it directly in one bite. Entrance. So disgusting, this smell is too disgusting. Chen Mu felt the taste of the dragonfly in his mouth, and this smell made Chen Mu uncomfortable. The task is 90% complete. Fortunately, the mechanical and emotionless voice of the system gave Chen Mu some comfort. Okay, there is only one last creature left. Chen Mu adjusted his emotions and opened his consciousness again. Suddenly, a bird entered Chen Mu's consciousness. This bird was very unique and immediately attracted Chen Mu's attention. It flapped its wings like a helicopter and hovered in the air. This is something that ordinary birds cannot do, not even Chen Mu, a white-bellied sea eagle. This bird is a little bigger than Chen Mu, who has not yet grown to giant size. With such a large size, there is only one possibility, that it is a medium-sized raptor like Chen Mu. Chen Mu saw the raptor hovering in the air, staring down. Chen Mu noticed that there were flocks of dragonflies below. Suddenly, the raptor swooped down and rushed towards the dragonflies. It bit the dragonfly and ate it. Seeing this, Chen Mu couldn't help but hissed. A wave of nausea came. Looking at the size of this thing, it should be slightly larger than me. It should also be a medium-sized raptor, but it eats insects. I didn't expect it, Chen Mu muttered. The raptor with superb hovering skills is called the black-shouldered kite. It is a kind of raptor, a medium-sized raptor. Its food is very wide, including insects, small birds, and small mammals. However, being able to eat insects is also a kind of ability, and I can't eat them. Chen Mu flapped his wings and flew up, flying towards the direction of the black-shouldered kite, but eating you is still possible. Soon, Chen Mu saw the black-shouldered kite catching dragonflies. The black-shouldered kite noticed Chen Mu, but it ignored him. Chen Mu did not become gigantic, so Chen Mu's current size is slightly smaller than that of the black-shouldered kite. The black-shouldered kite is not afraid of Chen Mu at all. Chen Mu pounced on it fiercely, and his body instantly became gigantic at the moment of diving and accelerating. The sharp claws grabbed the black-shouldered kite's head. The claws pinched. The black-shouldered kite's head was directly crushed. Blood sprayed. The black-shouldered kite didn't even react before it became a headless corpse, and the corpse fell down with gravity. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 63. Soon, Chen Mu stepped on the headless body of the black-shouldered kite, stood on a high rock, and ate the meat of the black-shouldered kite comfortably. A raptor is a raptor. The larger the body, the more meat it has. It is much more comfortable to eat than those small birds. However, it is still a far cry from the chicken I have eaten before. Chen Mu muttered to himself while eating. Just then, a voice sounded. The mission has been completed. You will receive 50% of the evolutionary energy progress as a mission reward. Accompanied by the voice. After obtaining 50% of the evolutionary energy, Chen Mu's body size increased at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, his body was a full circle larger than before. Now Chen Mu has lifted the gigantism, and when he was not gigantic, he was a white-bellied sea eagle. The body length is 76 centimeters. At this moment, Chen Mu's body size has reached a huge size of 1.1 meters. This size is already considered a large raptor. Chen Mu raised his wings, looked at his wide wings, and then looked at his huge body, his eyes slightly lit up. At this moment, if his body size doubled again, he would basically be invincible in the air. But, what's next? Land is not like the ocean. There are too few things that can be swallowed. It is not reliable to obtain evolutionary energy by swallowing land creatures, Chen Mu muttered. Do I have to go to the sea again and slowly grind away this 50% evolutionary energy? Thinking of this, Chen Mu subconsciously looked at the ocean not far away. This place is not far from the sea. New task refreshed: hunt an adult kangaroo without using the ability of gigantism and transformation, and reward 50% evolutionary energy progress. Hearing this, Chen Mu's eyes lit up. There is actually a second task. Chen Mu was a little surprised, but then he was happy. If Chen Mu continued to find food in the sea to swallow as before, the speed would be too slow and too boring. Chen Mu really didn't like that boring life. Now when he heard that there was a second mission, Chen Mu was a little confused at first, but then he was naturally happy. This system usually doesn't follow the routine, and will give Chen Mu some surprises anytime and anywhere. So, Chen Mu didn't bother to think about what this system would do. Let's accept the mission first. Accept the mission. The mission has been accepted and the mission has been successfully activated. The mechanical voice of the system sounded. Chen Mu flapped his wings and flew up. There are many kangaroos around here, and there are many adult kangaroos. Opening the consciousness vision, Chen Mu can see the kangaroos jumping around. Some of these kangaroos are in the wild, and some are walking on the streets where humans live. Occasionally find two-legged apes to practice boxing. Chen Mu didn't want to run to the streets where humans live. First of all, there are too many buildings where humans live, which is very troublesome. The wide wilderness is more suitable for hunting. Chen Mu quickly found an adult kangaroo on the grass. Chen Mu flapped his wings and flew over. He came to the top of the adult kangaroo and looked down at it. The kangaroo had sensed something strange and subconsciously raised its head to look over here. It was obvious that it had discovered Chen Mu. The size of an adult kangaroo is generally between 1.1 and 1.5 meters. The adult kangaroo in front of him is 1.2 meters. It is about the same as Chen Mu at the moment. But the problem is that although the size is similar, it weighs much more than Chen Mu. And it is full of muscles. Even a 2-meter tall human will be chased and beaten when facing an adult kangaroo. You can't use gigantism or transformation to hunt this thing. It turns out that 50% of the evolutionary energy progress is not so easy to get. Even if a large raptor hunts alone, it has no way to hunt it, unless the target is the kangaroo cub. But this task requires Chen Mu to hunt an adult kangaroo, which is not easy to do. Humph, can't I, the great king of the sky and the great eagle, handle you? Chen Mu didn't believe it. If I can't use the ability of gigantism and transformation, then use the clone. Once the clone ability is used, there is a huge white-bellied sea eagle beside Chen Mu. Chen Mu looked at the clone, and he wanted to try to create a second one. In the end, it didn't work. Only one clone? That's fine. Chen Mu looked at the kangaroo below. At Chen Mu's signal, the clone sea eagle flapped its huge wings and pounced on the kangaroo. When the adult kangaroo saw the white-bellied sea eagle flying over, its first reaction was to run. Seeing this, Chen Mu's face sank slightly. If this guy wants to fight Chen Mu head-on, Chen Mu can use the clone ability to grind it to death, but if it wants to run, it will be difficult to deal with. But it's so empty here, where can you run? Chen Mu followed the clone. Two white-bellied sea eagles used their sharp claws to attack the adult kangaroo. Chen Mu approached, raised his sharp claws, and grabbed the kangaroo's shoulder. The sharp claw sank into the kangaroo's shoulder, tearing the kangaroo's flesh and blood. The kangaroo raised its claws and slapped Chen Mu. Chen Mu dodged with a flash. It was impossible to catch this kangaroo directly. Chen Mu's plan was to use this method to bleed the kangaroo little by little and grind it to death. Two giant white-bellied sea eagles surrounded the kangaroo and attacked it crazily. Soon, the kangaroo was covered in blood, but it ran desperately. There was a street ahead. There were pedestrians walking on the street. When they saw this scene, they stopped one by one and watched. Seeing this, Chen Mu realized something. If this kangaroo rushed into the crowd, he would not be able to hunt. Too slow. Although he did bleed the kangaroo, this thing had too good a physical fitness. It would probably take a long time to bleed it to death. If the kangaroo escaped into the crowd and used the crowd as an obstacle, Chen Mu would not be able to continue attacking. Is this kangaroo so smart? It actually uses humans. Chen Mu looked at the clone beside him. The clone rushed over and grabbed one of the kangaroo's arms with its claws. As soon as the arm was grabbed, the kangaroo struggled violently, trying to break free. The clone sea eagle flew up suddenly and raised its arm. Ah, the kangaroo was angry and raised its other arm to attack the clone sea eagle. Chen Mu flew over and grabbed the kangaroo's other arm with his claws. He flapped his wings forcefully and pulled the kangaroo's arm back. Under normal circumstances, the strength of the white-bellied sea eagle may be comparable to the strength of the adult kangaroo's arm, but it was different now. Hiss, The kangaroo screamed and struggled. It twisted its body in pain. The attacks that Shenmue and his clones had just launched were all attacks on the kangaroo's shoulders or the kangaroo's arms and shoulder joints. The purpose was not only to bleed it to make it weak, but also to reduce its arm strength. After all, its arm was its only weapon that could hurt Shenmue. The two white-bellied sea eagles flapped their wings and flew up. They lifted up the adult kangaroo suddenly. Look, the humans saw the scene and showed surprise. Two white-bellied sea eagles grabbed the kangaroo's arm and flew into the air, thousands of meters high. The kangaroo struggled, but it was useless. Shenmue locked onto a rocky ground below and exchanged glances with his clone. They released their claws together. Ah, the kangaroo fell from the sky. Because of gravity, it fell very fast. Bang! The kangaroo fell heavily on the rocky ground, bleeding and dying. Shenmue flew to the side of the kangaroo. The clone disappeared into mist. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Shenwu Nian. Chapter 64. Shenmue looked at the body of the kangaroo in front of him and walked over. At this time, Shenmue heard a noise. Coming back to his senses, he looked at the source of the noise and found that people not far away were walking towards the side. These people were holding mobile phones or cameras, facing Shenmue, and seemed to be taking pictures. What a big white-bellied sea eagle! Where is the other white-bellied sea eagle? I just saw it landed here, why is it gone? I don't know, but it's amazing. This is the first time I've seen such a big white-bellied sea eagle. Is this a white-bellied sea eagle? It looks bigger than a wedge-tailed eagle. The wedge-tailed eagle is a large eagle in this area. Before, I saw a news report saying that a large white-bellied sea eagle caught a seagull. Is it this one? It may also be the one just now. The one just now was also very big, and this is the first time I have seen two white-bellied sea eagles cooperate in hunting. The humans were talking about it. Looking at those people, Shenmue felt a little uncomfortable. He didn't like being treated like a monkey. Congratulations on completing the task and getting 50% progress in the task reward. Congratulations on your 100% progress in evolution energy, start evolving. Evolution. Evolution in front of these humans. Shenmue was stunned and was about to stop it, but at this moment, the golden light had already wrapped Shenmue. Looking at the white-bellied sea eagle wrapped in golden light, the humans were all stunned. What is this? What is going on? Although they were full of doubts, many people reacted and took their mobile phone cameras to take pictures. The golden light carried Shenmue's body and took Shenmue away. Watching the golden light quickly disappear in front of them, those people were stunned. When the golden light wrapped around him, Shenmue's consciousness disappeared. As time went by, Shenmue's consciousness returned. When his consciousness returned, he came to his senses and subconsciously looked at himself. Before, after becoming a white-bellied sea eagle, Shenmue thought about what his next evolution would be. According to the current situation, he evolved from a marine creature to a penguin. Penguins are birds. Although they cannot fly, they also have feathers. After that, they have been evolving, and all the evolved ones are birds. Shenmue felt that after he became a white-bellied sea eagle, the white-bellied sea eagle was a medium-sized raptor. So how could he say that the next evolution would be a large raptor? Shenmue felt that this was very likely. But when Shenmue came to his senses, he found himself standing on a grassland. He was stunned for a moment, then he lowered his head and looked at his forelimbs. Is this a dog? No way, this made Shenmue a little unacceptable. From a raptor to a dog, the gap is a bit too big. Shenmue opened his consciousness and looked carefully. When he saw himself clearly, Shenmue's eyes lit up. Now Shenmue's tail is naturally hanging down in a relaxed state. His ears are erect, his eyes are sharp, his mouth is closed, and his expression is a bit fierce, as if he may pounce on the target at any time. The hair on the back is black, and gradually turns brown and light brown. Seeing this, Chen Mu understood. It's not a dog, but a wolf. Have I evolved from a white-bellied sea eagle to a wild wolf? Chen Mu looked around at the unfamiliar grassland. He could not see any humans or human buildings in his field of vision. This is obviously a wilderness far away from human settlements. It's okay. I can accept it if it's not a dog. There are many ways to distinguish between dogs and wolves, and the simplest way to distinguish is to look at the tail. The wolf's tail is usually hanging down, while the dog's is raised high. At the same time, dogs have many colors, and the wolf's hair is mostly black on the back, and gradually turns brown and light brown. Gurgle. At this time, Chen Mu's stomach made a sound. I'm hungry, Chen Mu muttered. Let's find something to eat. Chen Mu was about to open his consciousness. Suddenly, a voice rang. Congratulations on your successful evolution. You have received evolutionary rewards. Your consciousness vision has been upgraded. The field of vision has been increased from the original 1,000 meters to 10,000 meters. Chen Mu's heart moved. Has the consciousness vision been upgraded? 10,000 meters. Has it increased tenfold? Chen Mu was suddenly surprised. Consciousness vision is a good thing. You know, this field of vision distance is not the diameter, but the radius. With Chen Mu as the center, everything within the 10,000 meter sphere cannot escape Chen Mu's sight. 10,000 meters, that is not a short distance. Chen Mu opened his consciousness vision. He saw it. With Chen Mu as the center, he could see everything within the 10,000 meter field of vision. Chen Mu placed his field of vision at the highest point in the sky and looked down. Looking down, he could see clouds. This feeling is like sitting on an airplane and looking at the clouds. General civil aircraft are at an altitude of about 10,000 meters. The place that Chen Mu's consciousness vision has reached now is exactly 10,000 meters. Chen Mu felt a little shocked. It seems that if my consciousness and vision are upgraded, I will probably be able to see the Earth from space. Gurgle, gurgle. Suddenly, the sound from his stomach reminded Chen Mu. Hearing this sound, Chen Mu could only look elsewhere to find prey. Soon, Chen Mu found some creatures about 2 kilometers away from him, that is, a group of antelopes. The group of antelopes were nibbling on the grass. At the same time, Chen Mu also noticed that not far from the antelopes, 7 wild wolves that looked similar to Chen Mu were resting under a tree. The same species? Chen Mu didn't care about this. He moved and ran towards the direction of the antelopes. He had to find something to eat, which was the most important thing for Chen Mu. Soon, the appearance of the antelope group appeared in Chen Mu's vision. He slowly stopped and began to look for prey. At this time, the wild wolves who were resting stood up one by one when they saw Chen Mu. Their expressions became solemn and serious, and their eyes were fixed on Chen Mu. The 7 wild wolves moved towards Chen Mu. Chen Mu looked at the antelopes in front of him. Many of them were adult antelopes, and only a few were cubs. Do you want to eat adult antelopes or young antelopes? For Chen Mu, all these giant antelopes can only be food. It is difficult for a lone wolf to hunt for food on its own, and of course Chen Mu is an exception. Before Chen Mu made up his mind, the rustling sound beside him attracted Chen Mu's attention. He came to his senses and found that the 7 wild wolves had come over. They were 10 meters away from Chen Mu, staring at him with bared teeth. Get out of our territory, one of the larger wild wolves said. This is a male wild wolf. Chen Mu looked at the male wild wolf, and then he glanced at the other 7 wild wolves. It seems that these things are different from killer whales and do not welcome their own kind. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 65. Wolves are generally led by a powerful couple, and most of the wolves underneath are the children of the couple, although a few are other wolves. In the wild, Wolves attach great importance to their own territory. When an adult lone wolf enters its territory, the leader of the wolf pack will drive out the lone wolf that enters his territory. As for a lone wolf, as an adult male lone wolf, he has two choices. One is to run, the other is to show weakness and then gain the trust of the wolf pack through performance and join the wolf pack. The third is to challenge the leader of the wolf pack and win. You can become the leader of that wolf pack. But now, led by the alpha wolf, this group of wolves wants to drive Chenmu away. Now it was a warning. If Chenmu didn't run away, the wolves would take action next. The mission has been refreshed. The mission requires you to form your own wolf pack. As the alpha wolf, lead the pack and ensure that your men are not harmed for a year. The more wolves left in the pack, the greater the evolutionary energy reward will be. Hi! Upon hearing this, Chenmu's heart moved. Chenmu's eyes fell on the wolves in front of him. If you want to form your own wolf pack, wouldn't this wolf pack in front of you be enough? Chenmu moved his steps, looked at the group of wild wolves in front of him, and said, "Who is the alpha wolf? Come out, I will challenge the alpha wolf." The adult male wild wolf stared at Chenmu with fierce eyes. It stopped talking and pounced on Chenmu. Obviously, it has already answered Chenmu. It is the leader of this pack of wolves, the Wolf King. Looking at the oncoming Wolf King in front of him, Chenmu used gigantism, and his size instantly doubled. When the Wolf King saw this scene, his pupils trembled slightly and he stopped suddenly. Chenmu opened his big mouth and faced him directly, covering the Wolf King's head, and biting the Wolf King's neck with his teeth. When your body size increases, it's not just about your body size, because when your body size increases, your muscles and other things will also become larger, so your strength will also increase. In one bite, the Wolf King's head was bitten into pieces. Chenmu shook his head suddenly. There was a sound of flesh and blood being separated. The Wolf King's neck was torn apart and his head was torn off. The headless corpse was thrown aside, twitching slightly. Suddenly, Chenmu saw an adult female wild wolf running out of the pack, running away as if fleeing for its life. Seeing this, Chenmu opened his mouth and spit out the male wolf's head. He came into contact with the gigantism, and then looked at the escaping female wolf with some confusion. Challenge the Wolf King of the pack so you can become the new Wolf King of the pack. Chenmu, who used to be a human, can be seen in many movies and TV dramas, but now that the Wolf King has been killed by himself, what is the female wolf running for? Why run away? In fact, as Chenmu knew, when the Wolf King is killed, the new lone wolf can become the new Wolf King of the wolf pack. But in fact, there is not only one true Wolf King of the wolf pack, but two. A wolf pack is led by a pair of wolves, and of that pair, one female and one male are the Wolf Kings. The strength displayed by Chenmu made the female Wolf King realize that she was no match, so she ran away. King, at this time, a voice came. When Chenmu came back to his senses, he saw an adult female wolf approaching and rubbing her body against Chenmu. Chenmu looked at the female wolf, then looked at the escaping female wolf in the distance. Why is it running away? The female wolf was slightly startled. She looked at Chenmu and said, "She is the queen. You killed the old Wolf King. She knew she was no match for you, so she ran away. Can't understand. But forget it." Chenmu withdrew his gaze, walked around, and looked at the other wild wolves in the pack. There are now 5 wild wolves left in the wolf pack, 1 immature male wolf, 1 immature female wolf, 1 adult male wolf and 2 adult female wolves. Seeing Chenmu approaching, they all lowered their heads in awe. It was obvious that the power Chenmu had just shown had shocked them. The number of wolves generally ranges from 7 to 30. It was obvious that the pack was small. Under normal circumstances, if the lone wolf kills the Wolf King and becomes the new Wolf Queen, he will re-establish his position as the queen of the wolf pack. In other words, Chen Mu now has to find a female wolf to reproduce. Within the wolf pack, currently only the 2 adult female wolves can become queens. This was the reason why the female wolf just approached Chen Mu and tried to please him. Of course, Chen Mu doesn't care about this. Chen Mu said, "Have you all eaten?" Hear the first words spoken by this new wolf king to the wolves. The other wolves were a little confused. The female wolf approached Chen Mu and said, "Wang, we ate not long ago." She hesitated when speaking. Chen Mu snorted and said, "You have eaten, but I haven't." After saying that, Chen Mu's eyes fell on the antelope not far away. Don't bother to pay attention to this pack of wolves. His eyes fell on an adult antelope not far away. At present, Chen Mu walked over, his body became huge again, and his size became larger. A normal adult wolf is not as big as an adult antelope, but when Chen Mu uses gigantism, his size exceeds that of an adult antelope. He used his control ability on the adult antelope. The adult antelope stopped eating grass. Under the control of the control ability, it ran towards Chen Mu. The group of wild wolves behind Chen Mu watched the adult antelope run up to Chen Mu, and then lay down obediently in front of Chen Mu. Chen Mu came closer, put his head closer, opened his big mouth, and started eating directly. The wild wolves behind Chen Mu were all stunned. To hunt an adult antelope requires the cooperation of the wild wolves in the pack. If you are a lone wolf, you will have to choose some weaker antelopes to do it. And the new wolf king in front of him can actually make the antelope come over and die. This was something the wolves didn't expect. Chen Mu was eating by himself. This tastes, yes, it tastes much more delicious than those stupid birds, Chen Mu commented while eating. It has a lot of fat and meat, and it tastes really good. It seems that we have to choose some fatter prey next time. Although this stuff is much worse than cooked meat, compared with Chen Mu's experience of eating bird meat during this period, these antelope meat is much more delicious. Not long after eating, Chen Mu was full. After eating, Chen Mu stepped aside and subconsciously glanced at the wild wolves who were looking at the antelope carcasses but did not dare to approach. The hierarchy of the wolf pack is strict. Before the wolf king is full, other wolves cannot eat, otherwise they will be punished. Perhaps some of the wolves in front of them had not eaten enough before, but even if they saw there was food, they could only watch Chen Mu, the new wolf king, eat. Chen Mu received the task of leading the wolf pack to survive for a year. The more wolves in the wolf pack survived, the higher the evolutionary energy progress reward he could get. So, Chen Mu said, "Eat, I'm full." After Chen Mu finished speaking, he left. When other wolves saw this, they had the courage to go over and eat. Chen Mu walked to the big tree and sat down, watching the group of wild wolves eating each other. He remembered the mission he was given. The more wolves left in the pack, the greater the reward, Chen Mu muttered. Doesn't that mean we need to find other wolf packs and integrate them? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 66. Chen Mu sat under the tree, subconsciously shaking his tail and thinking. For Chen Mu, the feeling of wagging his tail is the same as the feeling of shaking legs when humans relax. Some people say that the wolf's tail is not as flexible as a dog's, and the wolf's tail is hard, so it can't wag its tail like a dog, but it's not true. Wolves wag their tails. For dogs, when their owners leave home for a while and come back, they will be very happy and wag their tails to their owners, and for wolves that hunt and survive in the wild, there are similar situations. Wolves are not always together. There may be some hunting groups that temporarily leave the wolf pack to hunt outside. When these wolves come back, other wolves that have a good relationship with them will wag their tails to greet them. So, wolves wag their tails. Of course, for Chen Mu, Wagging his tail is just like shaking legs, which is relaxing. He is thinking. This time the system has only one task, that is, there is no choice. Since the system said that the more wolves a wolf pack has, the more evolutionary energy it can obtain, then it is best to expand its own wolf pack. What are the ways to expand the wolf pack? Chenmu muttered to himself. Chenmu did not understand wolves very well. King, do you want to expand the wolf pack? A voice came from the side. The adult female wolf approached Chenmu and took the initiative to rub Chenmu with her body. Chenmu said, well, do you know any way? The female wolf lay beside Chenmu respectfully, looked at Chenmu, and said, King, you can choose a queen and give birth to children with the queen, so that we can expand the wolf pack. Chenmu was silent. Indeed, this method is indeed a way to expand the wolf pack, but the problem is that Chenmu has to reproduce. Chenmu would rather be a bachelor wolf. The female wolf stood up slightly, looked at Chenmu in awe and said, King, do you think I can do it? It approached Chenmu intimately. Chenmu said, besides this, the mother wolf continued, if a lone wolf wants to join us, we can first determine whether the lone wolf can be trusted. On the premise of confirming that the lone wolf can be trusted, we can let the lone wolf join us. At present, as far as I know, there are only these two ways, the mother wolf continued. However, it is a very dangerous decision to let other wolves join our wolf pack in this way. Wolf packs are generally composed of family members, or wolf packs composed of brothers and sisters, or wolf packs composed of a pair of spouses and their children. Wolf packs have a very strict hierarchy and territory, and they are very exclusive of outsiders. So generally speaking, wolf packs are wolves of their own family, and there are very few outsiders. Wolves are generally either lone wolves, pairs of wolves, or wolf packs. Under normal circumstances, in order to ensure that there is enough food, when the number of wolves reaches a certain level, the wolf king will start to lay off members. Like some newly adult wolves and adult wolves that are not favored by the wolf king, these are generally male wolves, and they will be driven away from the wolf pack by the wolf king and leave the territory of the wolf pack. Therefore, under normal circumstances, the number of wolves will not grow indefinitely, and the number of wolves will generally be maintained at 7. The term 7 wolves is not random, because the number of a normal wolf pack is 7. Of course, if there is enough food, the number of wolves will be larger. It ranges from 7 to 30, and rarely exceeds this range. Chenmu looked at the female wolf next to him. If I kill the wolf king of other wolf packs, can I force other wolf packs to join us? The female wolf heard it and looked at Chenmu. If two wolf packs fight, the wolf king of one wolf pack kills the wolf king of another wolf pack, then the other wolves will run away. Wolf packs are generally composed of families, and there is no situation in the wild where wolf packs merge. When two wolf packs fight, it will soon be clear which of the two wolf packs is superior. The inferior wolf pack will choose to run away. If the wolf king is killed, other subordinate wolves will run faster, because if they don't run, they may be killed. After all, wolves are different from humans, and it is not so reliable to integrate the wolf pack now. Chenmu slowly stood up. He looked at the female wolf beside him, and said, are there other wolf packs nearby? The female wolf said, yes. It also stood up. Chenmu said, let's go to seize the territory, you lead the way. The female wolf heard it, its eyes lit up slightly, and said, okay. It ran outside, leading Chenmu. Chenmu followed the female wolf. The other 4 wild wolves saw this, and they also stood up and followed Chenmu. Chenmu subconsciously turned his head and looked at the 4 wild wolves following behind him, and he retracted his sight. After these guys confirmed that Chenmu was the wolf king, would they follow the wolf king to act together? The identity of the wolf king is still quite useful. Chenmu opened his conscious vision. Soon, with Chenmu as the center, Everything within 10,000 meters was imprinted in his eyes. Look in the direction where the female wolf in front of him went. Soon, Chen Mu saw it. There was indeed a group of wild wolves over there. There were 9 wolves in total. 2 of them were very small, estimated to be less than a month old. 7 of them were adults. The 9 wild wolves were gathered together under a big tree, surrounded by grass. The tall grass was good for hiding the cubs. Chen Mu retracted his gaze and stepped forward. The female wolf saw Chen Mu's actions and showed doubts. Chen Mu said, "I know where they are, you just follow them." Yes, the female wolf followed Chen Mu. It looked at Chen Mu's figure. Chen Mu was tall and strong, with a strong aura all over his body. His sharp eyes and majestic steps were enough to fascinate it. Chen Mu was thinking about something else. It was probably difficult to get other wolves to join him by killing the Wolf King. In other words, the only thing that can be done at present is to get lone wolves to join him. In this case, the more lone wolves, the better. If the wolf kings of other wolf packs are killed, the wolf packs will disperse. Wouldn't those wolf packs give birth to many lone wolves? Since lone wolves will be born, as long as all the wolf packs nearby are dismantled and the number of lone wolves increases, won't there be more lone wolves joining your own wolf pack? And there must be wolf babies in the wolf pack. Capturing wolf babies and raising them yourself is also a means. Chen Mu's mouth corners slightly raised. I am really too smart. Chen Mu admires himself a little. Their territory is further ahead, the mother wolf said. Chen Mu hummed and walked forward. Giant Chen Mu's body size increased, and a giant gray wolf appeared in front of the wild wolves. Chen Mu raised his head. Ah! A wolf howl resounded through the world. This is the sound heard by human ears. And this wolf howl translates to: the other side's little wolf dogs, all get out of here. I'm here to grab the territory. Under the gaze of Chen Mu's consciousness, the wild wolves who were resting opened their eyes one by one. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 67. Listen, it's the sound of a wolf howling. The human who was driving on the grassland stopped the car subconsciously after hearing the sound. He looked around. A casually dressed white-haired old man next to him looked a little curious and said, I have heard the howling of wolves around here. This wolf howl is completely different from the previous wolf howls. The driver, with a man wearing a vest and dark skin, looked at the old man next to him, then, Doctor, do you know what's going on? When the old doctor heard it, he pushed his glasses and looked at the source of the sound, saying, this wolf howl is very loud and very courageous. It is probably declaring its sovereignty. As for what happened, I don't know. Do you want to go over and take a look? The sturdy man looked at the old doctor. The old doctor nodded. The two drove the car and drove towards the source of the sound. Through the vision of consciousness, Chen Mu could see that the 6 wild wolves, led by a male and a female wolf king, ran towards the direction where Chen Mu was. There were 3 other wolves, 2 cubs, and 1 adult female wolf. The adult female wolf stayed where it was, looking after the 2 cubs. The male wolf king in the wolf pack cried out. Ah, the sound was long. In the distance, the old doctor heard the sound and said, this is the voice of the wolf king Xiaoe, with anger in his voice. Although Xiaoe is a strong wolf king, he has always been very gentle. This time he seems to be very angry. Xiaoe is the name given by the old doctor to a wolf king living here. On the other side, as a wild wolf, Chen Mu heard another voice. Puja, you wait, dare to step into my territory, if I see you, I will peel off your skin. Hearing this, Chen Mu let out a wolf howl again. Ah! When the old doctor heard it, he said, it's that strange wolf howl again. The voice of this wolf completely crushed Xiaoe. It looks big and has a kingly aura. It is probably also a wolf king. In fact, Chen Mu's wolf howl is actually another sound. Come on, I'm in your territory, come and bite me if you dare. I'll bite you, do you think I don't dare? When I see you, you're dead. Come on. Come on. You bastard, do you think I don't dare? The howling of wolves continued. The old doctor was a little dazed. These should be the howling of two male wolf kings, it's amazing. On the other side, Chen Mu could already see the group of wild wolves running towards the side with his naked eyes. When the group of wolves saw Chen Mu, who was twice the size of an adult wolf, they stopped their steps as if they had seen a ghost. Chen Mu looked at the wild wolf in front of him, and he stepped out and said lightly, "Who was the guy who just called me a bastard? Stand up." The wolf pack consisting of 9 wolves has appeared in front of Chen Mu. Standing in front of these 6 wolves are 2 wolves, 1 male and 1 female. It is estimated that they are the wolf kings of this wolf pack. It's just that the 2 wolf kings looked a little strange. The female wolf king looked at the male wolf king beside her. The male wolf king stared at Chen Mu, grinning, but his pupils showed anxiety. It was obvious that Chen Mu's size put too much pressure on him. Chen Mu said, "It's you." He took a step forward. The male wolf king subconsciously retreated. The wolf pack also retreated. Wolves are very smart creatures. They know how to judge the difference in strength between themselves and the other party to decide whether to attack or retreat. Obviously, this wolf pack is very clear that the difference in strength is a bit too big. Chen Mu continued to move forward, with his claws on the ground. The male wolf king suddenly turned around. The wolf pack all turned around and ran away at once. Want to escape? That's not that simple, Chen Mu said lightly. Use the control ability. Use it directly on the male wolf king. Under Chen Mu's control, the male wolf king broke away from the fleeing wolf pack, and then turned back and rushed towards Chen Mu. Chen Mu opened his mouth, bit the male wolf king's throat, and pulled it hard, tearing the flesh and blood of the male wolf king's throat. The male wolf king lay on the ground without moving. The group of wild wolves saw their wolf king rushing back, and they were still a little hesitant about whether to come back to save him, but when they saw that the wolf king's throat was directly bitten off by Chen Mu, they were immediately scared and chose to run away again. This time, they didn't hesitate so much. Chen Mu looked back at the wild wolves behind him and said, "Chase." The wild wolves hurriedly chased after him. Chen Mu also ran, caught up with the wolf pack, and chased the wolf pack in front. He used his control ability to control one of the adult female wolves. The female wolf was controlled by the control ability and stopped running. Chen Mu was naturally the fastest and rushed to the side of the female wolf first. The mother wolf came back to her senses. She looked at Chen Mu, her pupils trembling slightly, and she felt uneasy. She wanted to escape, but she couldn't. Don't kill me," the mother wolf begged. Chen Mu said, "I'll give you 2 choices. One is that I kill you, and the other is that you join my wolf pack." When the mother wolf heard this, she was stunned for a moment, and then looked at Chen Mu. The hierarchy in the wolf pack is strict. This female wolf is not the female wolf king, so it can only be a subordinate wolf. Subordinate wolves have no status in the wolf pack. Chen Mu said, "Choose." "I'll join the female wolf," replied hurriedly. Chen Mu released the control ability that restricted its body, and then rushed forward to catch up with the wolf pack. He controlled the other adult wolf in the same way, and forced it to join his wolf pack through coercion. Unfortunately, the control ability can only act on one target at a time. After driving these wolves to a certain distance, Chen Mu let out a wolf howl. The translation means, "Stop chasing." The wild wolves stopped one after another and came to Chen Mu obediently. The wild wolves looked excited. Defeating the wild wolves meant that Chen Mu had a new territory. Chen Mu was not interested in the territory. He used his consciousness to look around. He saw the wolf cubs hidden in the grass by the wolf pack. The two cubs were still young, and there was an adult female wolf guarding them. Chen Mu led the wolf pack behind him to that side. When they arrived at the place where the cubs were, the adult female wolf immediately stared at Chen Mu and other wild wolves with a snarl of teeth. The wolf pack moved around, surrounding the three wild wolves in front of them. The female wolf protected the two cubs behind her. The two cubs stood there, looking at the wolf pack that surrounded them, and they looked a little confused. The two young wolves were still very young, and they obviously didn't understand what they were facing. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 68. Chen Mu released his giant form and walked up to the female wolf. Are you their mother? The female wolf looked at the wolves surrounding her. She realized that she couldn't fight against so many wolves. She slowly put away her grinning expression, showing an uneasy expression, and her tail slowly lowered. These are the queen's children, and I am responsible for taking care of them. Within the pack, only the two wolves with the highest status, the male and female wolf kings, are qualified to reproduce. Other wild wolves are not eligible to reproduce, but other wild wolves have the ability to take care of the children of the male and female wolf kings. Obligation. Generally, the person responsible for taking care of the children is the adult female wolf in the family. Chen Mu said, your wolf pack has dispersed. Now you are a lone wolf. Join us or be killed by us. You choose one. The adult female wolf was slightly startled. She looked at Chen Mu and then at the other wild wolves next to her. Her eyes fell on Chen Mu. You won't hurt these children, right? When Chen Mu heard this, he looked at the female wolf. Didn't you say that you are not their mother? Do you care about them so much? King, the female wolf who had been following Chen Mu, said. Chen Mu looked at the female wolf. The female wolf said, she is indeed not the queen of that wolf pack, and these wolf cubs are not hers, but she is the queen's daughter, and these wolf cubs are her sisters. Generally speaking, when the wolf couple with the highest status gives birth to pups, if the pups grow up, then when the cubs mature and become adult wolves, they will have two paths. One is to leave the wolf pack and become a lone wolf, and this path is usually for male wolves. The other is to continue to stay in the wolf pack and become a lower level wolf with no status. The subordinate wolf was originally the cub of the couple. When the wolf couple gives birth to cubs again, the cubs will naturally be the younger siblings of the subordinate wolf, and the subordinate wolf will be responsible for taking care of its own younger siblings. Chen Mu withdrew his gaze and looked at the mother wolf standing in front of the cub, responsible for protecting it. The female wolf next to Chen Mu continued, Wang, how about, kill them? If they enter our wolf pack, they will also be a trouble. And these cubs from other wolf packs are not yours, Wang. If the king wants, I can give birth to a baby for him. Chen Mu was stunned for a moment and subconsciously glanced back at the female wolf. The she-wolf looked at Chen Mu with expectation in her eyes. The corner of Chen Mu's mouth twitched and he looked away. The female wolf in front of her suddenly became a little nervous. She looked at Chen Mu uneasily. Don't kill me, and don't kill the children. I promise, if you let me join your wolf pack, I will be very loyal. Normally, if a wolf pack finds cubs from other wolf packs, they will kill them directly. Because it is impossible for a normal wolf pack to waste energy and food raising pups of other wolf packs. Of course, there are exceptions. For example, if the female wolf king has just given birth to a cub, and the cub dies due to some circumstances, and the female wolf king is still breastfeeding, and the maternal love is overflowing, she will choose to adopt it. However, what the wolves will do depends entirely on the wolf king's wishes. Whatever the wolf king wants to do, then do it. Of course, a normal wolf king would never agree to let a wolf pack adopt children from other wolf packs. Of course, the current wolf king of this wolf pack is Chen Mu, and Chen Mu is obviously not a normal wolf king. Chen Mu looked at the female wolf in front of him and said, from now on, you and those two little guys will be the wolves of my wolf pack. Just like you were in the previous wolf pack, you will take care of those two little guys. Wolf, the group will provide food for you and those two boys. With that said, Chen Mu withdrew his gaze and turned to leave. The wolves also left with Chen Mu. Seeing this, the mother wolf breathed a sigh of relief, and then followed the pack with the two cubs beside her. The other wolves in the pack obviously couldn't understand what Chen Mu was doing. Raising cubs from another pack is really incomprehensible. It is also impossible to understand Chen Mu's behavior. In addition to the wolf pack, there are two other people. In the distance, an off-road vehicle was parked there. The old doctor was watching the scene in shock with a telescope. "How is that possible?" the old doctor said incredulously. "Another wolf pack broke into Little A's territory, drove away Little A's wolf pack, and even adopted Little A's child." The muscular man in a vest next to him said, "Is it weird?" The old doctor said, "Of course it's strange. I have never seen anything like this in all my years of studying wild wolves. And that's just a new wolf king. It's really interesting." The old doctor put down the telescope and said, "It seems that the wolves in this area will change because of the appearance of this new wolf king." The man said, "Well." The man was only responsible for driving the old doctor and protecting the old doctor's safety. He was not so clear about this. He didn't think much about it. "How many wolves are there around here?" Chen Mu asked the female wolf beside him as he walked. When the female wolf heard this, she said, "I only know about this wolf pack at the moment. I don't know much about the others. Wolves mostly move around in their own territory. It is very dangerous to run out of their own territory and go to other places." Hear this. Chen Mu frowned slightly, his brows furrowed, and his already fierce-looking face became even more serious and fierce. Chen Mu was thinking, "I almost forgot that this is in reality, not in the game, and the wolf pack is not endless. This alone is not enough. What should we do? Unless we reproduce? But the problem is that according to the rules of the wolf pack, only the female wolf king and the male wolf king can reproduce offspring, and other wild wolves are not eligible. As for why there is this rule, this is obviously related to food. If there is too little food, there is no way to raise offspring, so the wolf pack chooses to pass on the genes of the leader wolf with better genes. Of course, the wolf pack does not know about genes, and this is obviously the experience and habit gained by the wolf pack through slow evolution in the past. But if Chen Mu wants to reproduce by himself, it would be too bloody. Chen Mu is really not interested in following a group of things that look like dogs. He can only take it slowly." Suddenly, Chen Mu stopped. He saw something he had never seen before. There was a forest in front of him, and in the forest, a brown bear was walking in the forest. This is an adult brown bear, looking very strong and full of muscles. For a brown bear like this one, 6 wolves of Chen Mu's species would be needed to barely tie with such a brown bear. An adult brown bear is a very scary creature. "Food," Chen Mu said subconsciously. "Bear paws are delicious." As a human, Chen Mu had never tasted them before. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 69. However, the brown bear's strength is there. Its size, even if it doesn't stand up, is more than 1 meter tall. If it stands up, it is estimated to be close to 2 meters. Wild wolves come in different sizes. The adult brown bear in front of him is twice as big as Chen Mu, and slightly taller. This thing is not easy to deal with. Of course, if the wolf pack acts together, there is still a chance. However, there will definitely be wild wolves injured by then, and Chen Mu currently has no way to treat wild wolves. In the wild, being injured is equivalent to death. Chen Mu does not plan to use the wolf pack to deal with the brown bear for the time being. But Chen Mu is sure to eat the bear paw today. Thinking of this, Chen Mu walked towards the direction of the brown bear. Noticing Chen Mu's actions, the other wild wolves subconsciously followed Chen Mu. There was a brown bear in front, and all the wild wolves saw it. The brown bear has invaded their territory. Seeing the wolf king walking towards the brown bear, the wild wolves realized that the wolf king was going to defend his territory. The wolf king was going to fight the brown bear, so the other wild wolves naturally followed without hesitation. Chen Mu noticed the wild wolves behind him, and he turned back and said, "Don't follow me, I'm going to play with it." The wild wolves were slightly stunned. They all showed doubts. The wolf king wanted to fight the brown bear alone. This was difficult for the other wild wolves to understand. Can this be done? But, in any case, this was the order of the wolf king, and as a member of the wolf pack, they could only obey the order of the wolf king. The order of the wolf king was absolute and could not be questioned or resisted. If they resisted, the wolf king would be furious, and other members of the wolf pack would take action and teach the wolf who disobeyed the order a profound lesson. If they were lucky, they would be injured, and if they were unlucky, they would die. So no wolf dared to disobey Chen Mu's order, even if Chen Mu's order was strange. Chen Mu walked towards the brown bear. Chen Mu noticed that the route the brown bear took was actually similar to his own, and they all walked towards the place where their wolf pack rested. Why? Chen Mu immediately thought of the antelope he had hunted before. Brown bears are relatively clumsy among animals. Their best hunting method is to wait for prey to come to them. For example, when brown bears hunt salmon, they wait for the salmon to return upstream and wait for the salmon to come to them automatically. If you want brown bears to hunt those antelopes and elks that can run, it is really difficult. Of course, if people encounter brown bears in the wild, they will die, because brown bears are clumsy among animals, but at the speed of humans, they cannot outrun the clumsy brown bears. Therefore, when there is no opportunity to wait for prey to come, most of the food of brown bears comes from the prey hunted by other predators. Either robbed or eaten leftover meat. Brown bears have their own unique way to judge where there is food. Obviously, the reason why this brown bear broke into the territory of the wolf pack is because it knew that there was freshly dead antelope meat in the wolf pack's habitat. Because when Chen Mu led the wolf pack away, the antelopes were not eaten clean, which was normal to attract the brown bear. Chen Mu was too lazy to think about it. Now his target was the brown bear in front of him. The brown bear had noticed Chen Mu approaching, but it ignored Chen Mu. As an adult brown bear, it was almost invincible in this place. The number of wolves was less than 6, so it was impossible for it to be the opponent of an adult brown bear. Even if it was dealing with 6 wild wolves, it could run away if it wanted. After all, even if the wolf pack could beat the brown bear, it would not risk its life to save the life of an adult brown bear. But Chen Mu started running. Ran towards the brown bear. As he got closer, giant Chen Mu's body doubled. Although not as big as the brown bear, the huge Chen Mu at this moment was only a circle smaller than the brown bear. Duplicate Chen Mu's body turned into 2. The brown bear's pupils condensed slightly, and it turned its head to look at Chen Mu. When the brown bear saw Chen Mu's appearance, it showed a ferocious look and stood up suddenly. Roar, a low roar sounded. The brown bear stood up. Its extremely strong and muscular body was 2 meters tall when it stood up, which looked very scary. The reason why the brown bear stood up was naturally to demonstrate. And roaring means that it is angry. Chen Mu snorted, "Is it useful?" Chen Mu's clone pounced over, and at the moment of pounce, it was in mid-air. Change the clone suddenly turned into a giant great white shark that was 13 meters long and nearly 1 floor high. The great white shark suddenly opened its bloody mouth. The brown bear looked at this extremely huge bloody mouth, and its pupils shrank slightly. The great white shark covered the brown bear's arm and bit its shoulder. "Ah, the brown bear screamed. The great white shark landed, and after landing, the great white shark bit the brown bear's shoulder tightly and twisted its body suddenly. With the help of the brown bear's weight and centrifugal force, the sound of flesh being torn apart was heard. But because the great white shark was too large, and it was on the shore, it was inevitably injured by the violent twisting of its body. The clone could not bear it, and with a bang, the clone of the great white shark disappeared. The brown bear fell to the ground with a muffled sound. It was covered with scarlet blood, and its right shoulder had been separated from its body. The brown bear lay on the ground, panting weakly. Chen Mu walked over and bit the brown bear's throat. Puff, accompanied by a sound of flesh and blood being torn apart. Chen Mu tore the brown bear's neck. The brown bear stopped panting. Chen Mu looked at the corpse of the huge brown bear. Eat raw meat? No, 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 it's time to change the taste. The best way to change the taste is naturally cooked food. But the problem is that you have to make a fire to make cooked food. Chen Mu looked at his fluffy paws, which seemed unable to make fire by drilling wood. He had to find some tools to make a fire. Thinking about it, Chen Mu looked back at the wolves watching from a distance, and he said, "Come here." The wolves hurried over here. The very active female wolf approached Chen Mu and said, "Wang, you are so awesome." It rubbed Chen Mu's body with its head, looking very intimate. The other wild wolves also looked at Chen Mu with admiration. Although they didn't know what Chen Mu did, they were smart enough to see the result, which was that their wolf king hunted this adult brown bear. 6 wild wolves can tie with an adult brown bear, but to kill an adult brown bear, several wild wolves must be seriously injured or lose their lives. And the wolf king in front of them hunted this brown bear with just his own strength, and this kind of strength is what they admire. Chen Mu could feel that this female wolf seemed to want to have cubs with him more and more. After all, the offspring of a powerful wolf king will also be stronger. The nature of animals makes it naturally want its offspring to become powerful. Of course, Chen Mu had no interest. Chen Mu said, "You guys guard this brown bear corpse, I'm going to leave for a while and find something, understand?" "Yeah," the female wolf responded. The other wild wolves naturally looked at this side obediently. Chen Mu's body changed from a wild wolf to a giant white-bellied sea eagle. He flapped his body and flew up under the gaze of the wild wolves. The wolves were stunned. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 70. Before, I remember there were 2 humans nearby. Chen Mu muttered, "They should have lighters or something like that." Chen Mu flapped his wings and flew into the air. He opened his conscious sight. Through his conscious vision, he saw an off-road vehicle driving on the grassland. Found it, Chen Mu flapped his wings and flew towards the direction of his conscious vision. Soon, he could see the off-road vehicle with his naked eyes. The SUV is driving back. It's late afternoon, almost sunset, in this case. Naturally, those humans did not dare to stay in this wilderness full of wild beasts for a long time. Chen Mu's eyes flew in the air, and he saw the 2 people in the car through his conscious vision. A young strong man with muscles all over his body, and an old man with white hair and wrinkles on his face. The young strong man was approaching with the steering wheel in hand. Chen Mu directly used his control ability on the young strong man. The car slowly stopped. After the car stopped, today's harvest is not small. The new wolf king, the dominant wolf group, adopts the cubs of the disadvantaged wolf group. This is really rare. The old doctor took a notebook and pen and wrote notes in the notebook. At this time, the car stopped. Seeing the car stop, the old doctor was stunned for a moment, and subconsciously looked at the strong man beside him. "Lei, why did you stop the car?" Without saying a word, Lei took out the lighter from his pocket, threw it out the window, and then started the car. "Lei, what are you doing?" The old doctor was a little confused by Lei's actions. At the same time, there was also Chen Mu, who was a little confused. Chen Mu used his control ability to control Lei and asked him to throw the lighter. Just as Chen Mu expected, Lei did have a lighter on him. Chen Mu controlled Lei and threw the lighter out of the car. He planned to let Lei drive away in the car. The car drove away. Chen Mu flapped his wings and landed next to the lighter, but the moment he saw the lighter, Chen Mu subconsciously stretched out his wings and looked at his paws. He immediately thought of his wolf claws. He realized that he had missed something. I can't seem to use a lighter. No, it doesn't seem like it, but it doesn't work at all. Lighters were invented for humans. Such a small lighter like the one in front of Chen Mu did not have human hands to fix the lighter, press the switch, and point the flame at combustibles. This series of actions all require dexterous hands to operate. But Chen Mu's claws obviously couldn't do it. In other words, even if he uses a lighter as a tool, he can't use a lighter. There is no other way. Chen Mu looked at the off-road vehicle that had driven some distance away. Since I can't use tools, let's find a tool man who can use tools. Inside the off-road vehicle, Lei, when the old doctor saw that Lei didn't respond to him, he called out again. Lei came back to his senses. He was stunned for a moment, then looked at the old doctor and said, "Old doctor, what's wrong?" The old doctor was slightly startled and said, "Why did you suddenly throw the lighter outside just now?" Lei was amused and said, "Old doctor, are you kidding me? How could I do such a stupid thing?" After saying that, Lei smiled and reached into his trouser pocket, intending to take out the lighter and show it to the old doctor. But when he touched his pocket, Lei's smile froze. "Hey, I remember I put the lighter in my trouser pocket, why is it gone?" He subconsciously stopped the car and started rummaging. The old doctor was also a little confused when he saw this. Obviously, a creature that is completely controlled by the ability to control will not remember the memory of the time it was controlled. Suddenly, Lei's expression changed again. Seeing the change in Lei's expression, the old doctor's heart skipped a beat, and he suddenly felt a little strange. Lei started the car and turned around. "Hey, Lei. What are you doing?" The old doctor was dumbfounded. "What is going on?" After Lei made a U-turn, the car was driven to where the lighter was thrown away. He got out of the car and picked up the lighter. When the old doctor saw this, he breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out to be a lighter. "I thought you were going to do something. I was scared to death." However, what Lei did next brought up the old doctor's just relaxed mood again. I saw that Lei was minding his own business collecting things. Seeing what Lei collected, the old doctor was stunned for a moment. "Lei, what are you?" Lei collected some dead grass and a thick branch, and then in front of the old doctor, he took a lighter and started to light a fire. The fire began to burn, and Lei placed one end of the thick branch on the fire. The old doctor was stunned and had no idea what was happening for a while. Soon, the thick branch was burned and started to catch fire. Lei extinguished the fire on the thick tree trunk with branches with leaves, leaving the charcoal fire on top. Then the fire was put out. At this time, the old doctor saw a huge white-bellied sea eagle falling from the sky. In front of the two of them, the white-bellied sea eagle grabbed the tree trunk with sparks with its sharp claws. In front of the old doctor, he flew up and flew away. The old doctor's eyes widened. "This is white-bellied sea eagle. Are white-bellied sea eagles interested in wood with charcoal fire?" What was happening in front of him was completely beyond the old doctor's cognition. Lei returned to the off-road vehicle and started the off-road vehicle. The old doctor saw it and hurriedly followed him. "Wait for me." He followed him into the car. The car started, turned around again, and returned to the route back. Suddenly, Lei's expressionless face regained his composure. "Huh? I clearly remember that the car has stopped. What happened?" He stopped the car, and then touched his pocket again in front of the old doctor. His eyes lit up slightly, and he took out the lighter in his trouser pocket, looked at the old doctor, and said, "See, I said the lighter was in my trouser pocket." The old doctor was stunned. At the same time, Chen Mu, in the state of a white-bellied sea eagle, grabbed the wood with sparks with his claws and flew in the air. He looked at the wood under his feet and said, "With this, we just need to let the wolves collect some dead leaves and dry branches to make a fire. As long as we can make a fire, we can roast bear paws." Speaking of bear paws, Chen Mu's voice was a little excited. "Cooked food, come to think of it, I haven't eaten cooked food for a few years." Chen Mu smiled, "This time, I have to eat a big meal." Soon, Chen Mu returned to the wolf pack with the wood. Chen Mu turned back into a wild wolf. When the wild wolves saw Chen Mu coming back, they all showed joy. The female wolf came over, "King." It shook its tail happily, with a hint of joy in its eyes. Wolves are creatures with high IQs. They recognize Chen Mu as the Wolf King. So even if Chen Mu turns into another creature, as long as they know that the other creature is Chen Mu, then that creature is their Wolf King. Because of this characteristic of the wolf pack, the Wolf King of the wolf pack is sometimes not necessarily a real wolf. It may also be a husky.